Hello students and welcome to the lecture of carbohydrates. I am Harshita and in today's lecture we are going to learn about introduction to carbohydrates. So the objectives of today's lecture are to get a basic idea and knowledge about what are carbohydrates, to learn about their structures and their functions, and also to get a brief idea about how can we classify carbohydrates. In today's lecture, we are going to talk about introduction to carbohydrates, what and all functions do carbohydrates have, and how can we classify and subclassify carbohydrates with examples. So, before we get any further with carbohydrates, there are certain things that we must have in mind. These things are that carbohydrates or saccharides, as they are often referred to, are biomolecules. And what are the four major classes of biomolecules? These are carbohydrates, proteins, nucleotides and lipids, out of which carbohydrates are the most abundant one. They are found abundantly in nature and these are a very major source of energy from our diet. Also, they are a source of storage. So, in today's lecture and in next lectures coming up for carbohydrates, we are going to discuss about carbohydrates. And first of all, we are going to discuss about the basics of carbohydrates. After which, we will come to the classifications of carbohydrates and which are very important. So we can classify them into monosaccharides, disaccharides, oligosaccharides and polysaccharides, about which we are going to learn in details in further lectures. After that, we are going to learn about different structures of glucose and other carbohydrates and how many different type of structures do they have. After which we will discuss about reducing sugars and we will learn which are the reducing sugars. After which we will see what is a glycosidic bond. Glycosidic bond by definition is a bond which joins two monosaccharide units together or two sugar units together, and we call it as glycosidic bond because carbohydrates are also known as glycoses, and of course a bond between two glycoses will be known as a glycosidic bond. We are going to discuss about this in detail in later lectures. Right now we must know that the bond joining two glycoses or two carbohydrates is known as a glycosidic bond. After this, at last, we will learn about isomerism and what are the different types of isomers present in carbohydrates. So let's talk about all this now in detail. Let's start with the basics. So what are carbohydrates? What do you mean by carbohydrates? To know this, we must break the term carbohydrate. So let's break it. So now when we break carbohydrates, we get two different terms. One is we get carbs, which means carbon atom, and other thing is hydrate, which means water molecule. And water molecule is made up of hydrogen and hydroxyl group. So now we know that when n number of hydrogen atoms molecules are added into n number of carbon atoms, we get a carbohydrate. So here let's make it, we have n number of carbon atoms. We are adding n number of hydroxyl groups, and that is why it is known as polyhydroxyl group. And let's join n number of hydrogen in this carbon chain. Now we have got this compound which has polyhydroxy groups, and these are all attached to the carbon chain. So what do we call this compound now? This compound will be known as polyhydroxy alcohol. So by far, we will only call it as polyhydroxy alcohol. We won't call it a carbohydrate. This compound is not a carbohydrate but polyhydroxy alcohol. And when will we call it as a carbohydrate? When any one of the hydroxyl group that is attached into carbon atom will be converted into any carbon, first carbon, second carbon, or any carbon will be converted to aldehyde group or ketone group, then only it will be called as a carbohydrate. And we can now call it a carbohydrate, or carbohydrates are also known as sugars or glycoses. So now let's see how our carbohydrates derive from polyhydroxy alcohols. For that, we are going to draw a polyhydroxy alcohol first. So now this hydroxyl group along with this carbon atom is replaced by aldehyde group, which is CHO, and this is the resulting structure. And now it has become a carbohydrate. This polyhydroxy group is converted into this aldehyde group to become a carbohydrate. So now how can we define carbohydrates? So carbohydrates are defined as aldehyde or ketone derivatives of the polyhydroxy alcohols. Now this carbohydrate, it has got this aldehyde group. So this will be known as an aldose sugar. That means carbohydrates containing an aldehyde group are called as aldoses. And what if we would have replaced this carbon atom with a ketose functional group? If we would have added a ketone functional group, that is double bond O, we would have gotten a ketose, which means a carbohydrate containing a ketone group are known as ketoses. So we learn that in n number of carbon atoms, when we are adding n number of hydroxyl groups and n number of hydrogen atoms, we get a resulting structure, that is, after replacing one of the hydroxyl group by either aldehyde or ketone, we get a carbohydrate. So we must remember that by definition, carbohydrates are either aldehydes or ketone derivatives of polyhydroxy alcohols. And what are they made up of? They are basically made of carbons, hydrogens, and oxygen. This is the reason we call them as hydrates of carbons. So we know that carbon and water are very abundant in nature. This is the reason that their compound is also very abundant in nature. This is why they are the most abundant organic compounds found in nature. And I think this is a very important point you must remember, that which are the most abundant biomolecules present in living organisms? They are carbohydrates, including human beings also. This is very important to remember. They are the most abundant biomolecules present in living organisms, including humans. So in today's lecture, we learned about basics to carbohydrates and what carbohydrates are, basic terminologies, and how are they derived. In further lectures, we are going to deeply learn about the classifications. What are the various classifications of carbohydrates? And in later lectures, we are going to learn about their structures, the glycosidic bond, various isomerisms, and their functions. In this video, we are going to learn about classifications of carbohydrates. As you can see, these are monosaccharides, oligosaccharides, and polysaccharides. Carbohydrates are often termed as saccharides, which means sugar because they are sweet in taste. And they are mainly classified into three groups, which are monosaccharides, oligosaccharides, and polysaccharides. The first classification is monosaccharides, which are the simplest carbohydrates made up of single sugar unit or molecule, and their general formula is CnH2ON. They can be further classified into aldoses and ketoses on the basis of the functional group attached. So aldoses have an aldehyde group attached to it, and its example is glucose, while in ketose there's a double bond O, that is a ketone group is attached with the carbon, and its example is fructose. If you see the structures of glucose and fructose, there is an aldehyde group attached to the first carbon in glucose and a ketose group attached on the second carbon in fructose. Let's move to the next classification, which is oligosaccharide, which are made up of 2 to 10 monosaccharidic units linked together via a glycosidic bond. If two monosaccharides are linked together, they are known as disaccharides. If three monosaccharides are linked together, they are called trisaccharides, and so on. So sucrose is one of the examples of disaccharides, which is made up of glucose and fructose. Lactose is another example made up of galactose and glucose. And here's an example of a trisaccharide, raffinose, made up of galactose, glucose, and fructose. Moving on to the next classification, which is polysaccharides. So these are monosaccharides unit. When many monosaccharides unit come together to form a long chain via glycosidic linkage, they are known as polysaccharides. They're having high molecular weight and forms colloid when dissolved in water. And they can either be branched or unbranched in structure. They can be further classified into homopolysaccharides and heteropolysaccharides based on the type of monomer present. So polymers of same monosaccharide unit are known as homopolysaccharides, while polymers of different monosaccharide units are called heteropolysaccharides. Examples of homopolysaccharides are starch and glucose. Both have only glucose as monomers. In starch, glucoses are linked together by alpha 1 to 4 glycosidic linkage, which is first carbon is attached to the fourth carbon. And in cellulose, these glucoses are linked together by beta 1 to 4 glycosidic linkage. Heteropolysaccharides, also known as mucopolysaccharides. Here's example, chondroitin 4-sulfate, made up of different monomers. In further lectures, we are going to deeply learn about the classifications and functions of carbohydrates. Now, let's have a quick introduction with what carbohydrates are. So, carbohydrates are the most abundant organic molecules present in nature. These are primarily composed of elements carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. And in carbohydrates, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen are present in a ratio of 1:2:1. And this is the reason that carbohydrates are most abundant in nature, because Carbon and hydrogen particularly are very highly present in nature, and that is why obviously their compound is also going to be very abundant in nature. And they are also known as hydrides of carbon. So the literal meaning of carbohydrates is hydrides of carbons because they are made up of carbon and H2O, that is water. And they can be defined as aldehyde or ketone derivatives of polyhydroxy alcohol because there is either an aldehyde group or a ketone group attached to the polyhydroxy chain in carbohydrates. And most of the carbohydrates possess the empirical formula of CH2ON. However, there are some exceptions to this. There are rhamnohexose and deoxyribose which does not satisfy the general formula. Rhamnohexose have a formula C6H12O5 and dextroribose has C5H16O. So carbohydrates are often referred to as saccharides. And the term saccharides, it comes from a Greek word saccharon, which means sugar. And this name is given to carbohydrates because most of the carbohydrates, I repeat, not all, but most of the carbohydrates are sweet to taste, crystalline in nature, and soluble in water, owing to the term sugars. They are known as sugars. And also you all must be knowing that most of the sweet food like cold drinks, some fruits like apples, uh, pastries, cakes, etc. are sweet in taste and these are high carb diet. Let's now learn about what functions do carbohydrates play. Why are we reading carbohydrates in the first place? Why is it so important to read about carbohydrates? So, they are the most abundant dietary source of energy for all organisms. That is, 1 gram of carbohydrate has 4 calories. That is why drinking energy drinks gives us instant energy. These also have sugars in abundance that is responsible for giving us instant energy. Carbohydrates are precursors for many organic compounds such as fats and amino acids. So that is, carbohydrates helped in the formation of amino acids which further form proteins which play a variety of actions in our body. Some carbohydrates also participate in the structure of cell membrane and maintaining cellular functions such as cell growth, adhesion and fertilization. Carbohydrates are also structural components of many organisms, which means it helps in making the structures of many organisms, which includes the fiber of plants. In fiber of plants, it is present as cellulose, which is a polysaccharide. It is present in exoskeletons of some insects and it makes up the cell wall of some microorganisms in the form of chitin, which is again a polysaccharide. Carbohydrates also serve as a storage form of energy in all animals. In humans also, carbohydrates or glucose is stored in the form of glycogen, which is again a polysaccharide, and it helps us to meet the immediate energy demands of the body. Now let's move to the classifications of carbohydrates. And as we already discussed that carbohydrates on the basis of number of sugar units present can be broadly classified into monosaccharides, disaccharides, oligosaccharides and polysaccharides. So monosaccharides are single and simple sugars made up of one carbohydrate unit and it forms the basis of other complex carbohydrates. In disaccharides, two sugar molecules are linked together through glycosidic bond. If 2 to 10 sugar molecules are linked together with the help of glycosidic bond, it is known as oligosaccharides. And when long chain of polycarbohydrates are made via glycosidic linkage, these are termed as polysaccharides. We are going to learn about these classifications in detail in later lectures. Here in this slide, you can see various examples of carbohydrates. Sucrose, lactose, maltose, cellulose, and on the left side also you can see Trioses, that are monosaccharides having 3 carbon atoms. Tetroses are monosaccharides having 4 carbon atoms. Pentoses are monosaccharides having 5 carbon atoms. Hexoses have 6 carbon atoms. Haptoses have 7 carbon atoms, and so on. Here is the flow chart showing some examples and classifications of carbohydrates. So examples of monosaccharides are glucose, fructose, galactose. Disaccharides are sucrose, lactose, and maltose. Oligosaccharides are raffinose and saccharose, and polysaccharides are starch, glycogen, and cellulose. What did we learn in today's lecture? So we learned that carbohydrates are polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones or compounds which produce them on hydrolysis. The term sugar is applied to carbohydrates that are soluble in water and sweet to taste. Carbohydrates are the major dietary energy source and they give us instant energy. Carbohydrates and their classifications, which are monosaccharides, oligosaccharides, and polysaccharides. These are the references for further readings. Thank you.